We are back. Tony Shields, Rob Ellis, hanging out with you. We are Sports Take, JAKIB Sports YouTube Network. Hoping to have Gunn up here shortly. Talk some birds with him as we kind of gear up here. Usually, as we talked about yesterday, Wednesday's the day you start sort of really looking forward here. But I'll be honest with you, Tone, I think this whole week, even leading up to Monday, is going to be a lot of looking back and looking forward. I mean, there's such great anticipation this season. To have it, be careening the direction that it's careening is frustrating, to say the absolute least. All right, so you've wanted it, you've asked for it, you've requested it, and we delivered it. The one and only Derrick Gunn.
My brother,
the Gunn of Maine.
My brothers, how you doing?
How you doing, man? What's going on?
Man. Good. Oh man, just little of this, little of that. Still tweeting stuff out. Little tidbits here and there.
You look good, man. You look good.
Likewise. I lost some weight.
You look 90s Wesley Snipes good. You know what I'm saying?
Wait a minute. I'll take that because Wesley's my guy. If he moves, lullaby is bleak.
And my brother's keeper. Yes.
What's up, chat? I miss you guys. Hey, you know what? I'm looking forward. Getting back on a regular basis, just getting some things ironed out with the home care situation and stuff. But it's coming. It's coming.
How's Trish doing? Let's start there.
Doing well. Spirits is really good. She's learning to help us help her. Her right side core strength is excellent. Left side is slowly but surely coming. She has daily. She has speech therapy one day, physical therapy, occupational therapy. And she's doing all these. She's attacking all these things the way I expect her to do. And it takes time. It's not even 3 full months. Most people I've talked to said 5, 6, 7, 8 months. So it's a marathon, not a sprint. Absolutely. But her mind's in the right place. She's sharp as a tack. Her speech, as a matter of fact, is as clear as it's ever been because she's still giving marching orders every 10 minutes. So even
gotta keep
more
you
so
on your toes, man. We can't blame her for that one.
Look, I'm husband. I'm caretaker. I'm dishwasher. More laundry. I'm all over the place. But God is good, and so we're in a good place. The kids have been tremendous help. Friends have been great help. Doing a lot of different things, and it takes a lot off your plate.
Let me ask you this real quick.
Yeah.
Has the family been doing all right with your cooking? Have they been surviving?
Oh, heck yes.
Okay.
Oh, absolutely.
Because I know if it's not a grill, then that's where things get a little tricky for you.
Man, hold up, man. No, hold up. Let me ask my son. Son, how's my cooking been?
Son.
Lately it's been good.
Wait. Say that out loud so they can hear you.
Lately it's been pretty good for once.
Lately. Operative word, lately.
He said pretty good.
Lately and pretty.
No, you have to understand Jordan. He doesn't give out compliments easily. See?
Okay.
He'll say like the other day I smoked ribs and salmon. Now my ribs, I ain't worried about. My smoked salmon, he comes down, eats, and he goes, Dad, I hate to admit it, but this salmon's pretty good. See, that's how he compliments people.
I hate to admit it.
I hate to admit it, but
oh my God,
it's the backhand compliment. So.
We missed you. The chat misses you.
Likewise.
We're glad to see you today. It's a little ray of sunshine in a day. But Gunner, let's talk about this, man. It's been ugly. It's been ugly for the Eagles here. 5 of the last 6, limping to the playoffs here against the Bucs. We'll get to the Bucs in a second. Just give me your impressions of where this team was at 10-1 to where it is now, and how did we get here?
I think the 49ers broke this team. I really do. I think the 49ers broke this team because if you go back to that game, they have been trash talking all off season about if we had this, we had that. And it would have been demoralizing enough if you had beaten them, if the 49ers had beaten them in San Francisco. They came into the Phillies' backyard and punked the Eagles in their backyard.
Right.
That stretch of games that they had to play was a murderous road. One stretch they had to play 3 games in 14 days.
Right.
That's taxing on anybody. And I don't think they ever recovered from it because if you guys remember, I told the pre and post game show, people snicker when I said it. Even this was right after the Seattle game. And I said, Arizona's going to give this team a problem.
Right.
And sure enough, it's like they've never recovered. And then, of course, the injuries have added up. The Giants, For a Giants team to jump on them 24-0, that told you they were cashing it in from the start that game. Now we got to find out. Say you haven't been dealt a blow until you've been punched in the mouth. Well, they've been severely punched in the mouth. Mm-hmm. And we don't know. I mean, think about this. We don't know for sure that they're going to have both Devonta and AJ on the field Monday night. We don't know that for sure.
We don't. Yeah. It's very quiet.
So if one of them, just one of them, now listen to what I'm telling you. If one of them is deleted from the equation Monday night against a Tampa Bay team that's not a high-scoring team, but they're a very physical defensive team, that's going to be a problem for this team if they don't have their full arsenal. We don't know Darius Slay's status. We're assuming he's going to play. But it doesn't make a difference right now who plays on the back end of the Eagles defense. It's like the Keystone Cops back there. Mm-hmm. They're going to have problems because they've been tested. And, when you look on social media, you see all these rumors, you hear all these things, so-and-so said this anonymously. And players have talked to me and I put stuff out there. That's when you have a lot of people second guessing themselves. And I'm not going to say Nick Sirianni has lost the locker room. But what I am going to say is there are entities that question the direction of where the team is going. Mm-hmm. And when you have questions, it affects the overall continuity of what you're trying to accomplish. Mm-hmm. Plain and simple.
Well, that's the thing, D-Gun, right? That's why I feel like their problems stem far beyond just that 49ers loss, right? I mean, yes, that 49ers loss exposed everything. It kind of exposed everything we knew, but we tried to ignore. And for me, it's so hard for me to look at this team and say, okay, you lose. Those things happen. You go on a loser streak, they happen. 3 games, okay, the Niners experienced that, but they bounced back. But the Eagles, this is now a 6-game, 7-game trend that we're seeing of a team that's just a shell of what we know them to be. How do you distribute blame or accountability throughout this whole situation? How do you distribute it amongst front office, coaching, players? How do you break that down?
I don't include front office. I don't include Howie. I don't include Jeffrey. I said it's equal distribution when it comes to coaching and the players. I don't think the coaching has been good enough in terms of putting players in situations to make better plays. And I don't think the players have been focused enough to get the job done consistently. Now, as inconsistent as this Eagles offense is, they still accidentally scored 25, 28, 30 points. They can still accidentally do that, which should be good enough to win most games. But they make these mistakes at the most costly time. And after that Dallas game, after they got smacked down in Dallas, and I tweeted it out, and, of course, it blew up. Players told me, Our passing routes take too long to develop compared to look at how quickly Dallas gets that bleep out of their hands. And if you look at the games that have been played since then, where are the short routes for 3rd and 6, 3rd and 7? Everything is like a 15, 20-yard pass. Why? What happened to the crossing routes? What happened to the underneath routes? The swing pass? What happened to those plays? Mm-hmm. Look at how many times Jalen is flushed out of the pocket and ends up throwing the ball out of bounds. I think their offense has been predictable. Anytime a team like Arizona and the Giants can stand toe-to-toe with you and make you look bad, there's something wrong with your offense. Even when you're scoring, there's still something wrong with your offense, okay? Defensively, what happened to the defense that was the top defense in the league against the run? Now, all of a sudden, they can't tackle you or me. What happened to that defense? And everybody, if you watch the body language in games, when a big play is given up or a guy runs for 15, 20 yards, you see players get up looking around like, who was supposed to be in this hole? I thought you had him. No, I thought you had him. See, there's too much of that guessing going on. And see, I understand there's a lot of young players in the back end, but at this stage of a season, you're not a rookie anymore. Mm-hmm. You're not a rookie. And these young kids have had to play a lot of snaps in the last 4 or 5 games out of necessity because of injuries. So you're not a rookie anymore. There's no more excuses for not being in the right place, for not wrapping up when it comes to tackling. I'm looking at James Conner looking like,
Derrick Henry.
Derrick Henry.
Yeah, times
running up and down their backs, okay? Yeah. I'm looking at the Giants running up and down their backs. Now, Tampa Bay doesn't have much of a running game, but guess what I'm doing if I'm Tampa? I'm testing the run. Mm-hmm. Why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Everybody else is running on Eagles. Why wouldn't I run on Eagles as well?
Mm-hmm.
So I think Tampa Bay is the perfect first round matchup for the Eagles because, as I said a few moments ago, they're not an explosive team. They're not a high scoring team, but they're a gritty team. But if the Eagles can jump on them by like 2 scores, I don't think Tampa can catch them, to be honest. But that's the problem. Can they jump 2 scores ahead of Tampa? And if Tampa gets the lead, what is this offense going to look like? Because I guarantee you one thing. Todd Bowles' defense is coming after Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
Ain't no question about that.
Yep. They're going to employ the same approach that Martindale did last week. It's just going to
Absolutely.
be all out. So, Gunner, that leads to my question.
Yep.
They look like they've never seen a blitz before. I mean, this is an NFL team that doesn't appear either ready or able to handle it. And the answer last week was Jalen just kind of scrambles around and it turns into either he gets sacked or he throws it away. Like, how is that the case in this day and age in the NFL that you don't understand how to handle a blitz?
I don't think it's just Jalen scrambling around. I think it's Jalen being flushed out of the pocket. I don't understand how this veteran offensive line is not picking up the blitz a lot better. You know, I've seen so many great breakdown plays of what the Giants were doing up front to them. And it's basically guys missing assignments. Why are they missing assignments? Is this team worn down after that gauntlet of games that they went through? Are they physically, mentally, and emotionally just worn down from that gauntlet? I mean, think about it. Name another team in the NFL that went through a 6-game stretch like this Eagles team did.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah, that stretch was the toughest of any team.
I mean, I think the running backs got to wear it too. The running backs can't block. You know, in those blitzing situations, you know, they're always going to send an extra guy, right? Either 5 or 6 guys.
Sure.
I saw plenty of times, especially in that Giant game, I saw why Rashad Penny wasn't on the field. He cannot pass block to save his life,
and he can't do anything. By the way, for everybody who wants him to play,
Kenny Gainwell is shaky at best.
Okay.
Yeah. Boston Scott. Okay. I mean, they don't have any running back there. DeAndre Swift. Okay. They don't have anyone back there who can really block and who can pick up the blitz efficiently and effectively.
What I would be doing is I would be using Swift more in the offense. And I'm not talking about just running the ball. Swing pass it to him. Screen it to him. Get the ball in his hands. At this point of the season, this is the point of no return. You guys always hear me talking about I don't want to see the running back in an Eagles offense get the ball more than 17, 18 times a game.
Right.
But this is all hands on deck right now. You know, like you, Douglas, said, do or die. There is no tomorrow. If DeAndre Swift gets the ball 25, 28 times in his hands, I'm good with that at this point. Because right now he's the most electric entity in that offense. You know, especially with AJ hobbling with his knee injury. We don't know what Devonta's ankle is like right now. Mm-hmm. But things happen when DeAndre Swift has the ball in his hands. I want that ball in his hands at least 25, 28 times.
And he was excellent against them in the regular season, Gunner, when they played the Bucs.
Absolutely.
But you know, we talk about this on the daily, and it seems so simple, right? But yet, if you ask them, it's the most complicated thing that we've seen. So, do you really trust this coaching staff at this point in the season to really do the right thing and feed DeAndre Swift? That's the question. Do you trust the staff?
No.
And that begs the question: Can the players trust the staff?
If you look at the last 5 or 6 games, they come out of the game and the media is asking questions. Why did you use this play in certain situations? And you hear Sirianni say, you know, now that I think about it, we could have done this better. See, that's not good enough. You're in your 3rd year, not your 1st year. This is your 3rd year. And you're still playing a guessing game. You know, you have all these analytics and stuff like that. And all of a sudden, you're still saying the same thing every week. You know what? In hindsight, maybe we should have done this. As I look at it now, we could have done that. That's not good enough. And when a coach says that, you don't think that trickles down to the players questioning, well, what the heck are we doing then? Mm-hmm. You know, people were like, Matt Patricia's calling the defense. I saw a great quote, and I can't go against it. Somebody said, Matt Patricia has not been a great defensive coordinator since he left Belichick. Think about it. And
how much of that was Belichick, who's a brilliant defensive mind?
Yes.
Yep.
Think about it. The defense has not been any better. As a matter of fact, the defense may be worse.
It is worse.
Under Patricia, okay?
Yeah.
I don't understand how these DBs are still playing 7 to 10 yards off the ball. You look at Arizona, you look at the Giants, you look at Seattle. What do? Now, You have 2,000-yard receivers in A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith. You saw these teams pressing them.
Mhm.
They play fearless.
Mhm.
You get beat. But you got to press them. Everybody knows you got to force the Eagles to make decisions quicker in their offense if you're going to have a measure of success. Lo and behold, 5 of the last 6 games, it's worked for the opposition. Okay? So if you have a team with inferior talent that is not afraid to man up against an offense that has superior talent, then why is it that this defense, when you have Pro Bowlers sprinkled throughout this defense, basically you're playing sandlot football against these offenses in the National Football League? I don't get that to save my life.
So, Derrick, just on the offensive side, does it speak to Steichen was able to overcome poor game planning and scheming it up with just his acumen during the game? Like, how do you explain it? Like, I know the numbers, there's not a huge fall off in terms of like points per game and all that, but we know what this offense looks like, and it's nowhere near what it was last year.
To me, it's a feel for the game, Rob. You know, we talk analytics all the time, but I've always been old school. I like a coach to use his mind instead of a robot to tell him what to do in down situations. And I think Shane Steichen, look at what he did with that offense in Indianapolis.
Mhm.
You know, he didn't have great personnel there, you know, but they got Anthony Richardson to play at a high level. And then look at what Minshew has done for them at that point. It's a feel for the game. And I don't think Brian Johnson has that total feel for the game. I don't think Desai and Patricia has that total feel for the game. There's too much guessing. And I can't get this out of my mind. It's resonating. In obvious passing situations, they're going for the home run ball instead of moving the sticks. And you're playing right into the opposition's hands. You're giving them more momentum. You're allowing the opposition to think, we can beat this team. And it's been happening. Why at 3rd and 7 are you throwing a shot down the sideline? You got all this talent. You got Pro Bowl tight end. You got decent backup tight ends installed and stuff like that. Why not a running back? Get a running back out curling over the middle. Where the heck are those plays? What happened to all those?
Yeah, too many times this year you forget Dallas Goedert's even on the team.
Yeah, look,
Exactly.
the fact of the matter is, here's the real problem, right? You know, Rob, you brought up Shane Steichen. Here's the real problem. The fact of the matter is, you have a guy. I'll put you this way: all cooks aren't created equal. I bet if you give each of us the same ingredients to cook the same dish, watch it come out different. So that's what we're seeing right here. You know, we saw Shane Steichen maximize Nick Sirianni's game plan to the best of his ability. And we saw him kind of do the same thing in Indy, but with his own game plan now. We're seeing Shane Steichen in full effect. Then you give Brian Johnson the same game plan or the same offense from Nick Sirianni, and we're seeing what we're seeing. It's more disjointed. You see less cohesion. You don't see him calling plays, to set up another play. He's relying on these crutch plays. You know, everyone has a crutch word in media, right? And you try to shake it. That word you can't get rid of.
Right.
When it comes to Brian Johnson, his crutch plays are the bubble screen and the empty set quarterback draw. When all else fails, that's what they bank on. We saw it clear as day in that Cardinals game. When all the chips were on the table, what did we see? Quarterback draw, bubble screen. That's who this coaching staff is right now in 2023.
I'm a little surprised because I thought Brian Johnson, who has been there from day one with Sirianni, with Steichen, in the classroom, behind closed doors, game situations, strategy-wise, would have been a little bit more fluid in terms of running this offense this year. It's been very jagged. It's been a very jagged offense and has left us all wondering, what the heck are we looking at here? And to me, that's been a big disappointment in terms of what I thought I would see from this offense compared to what we are actually seeing. Even when they were winning, we still had a lot of questions in terms of what is this offense?
Yeah.
What is it? And I think even as we sit here now, 17 games, 18 weeks into a season, we still don't know what the offensive identity is on this team.
No, the best you can come up with is tush push, which is great on 4th and 1, and that's awesome. But what are you the rest of the game?
Well, exactly. You don't know.
Yeah.
I don't get it. I don't get it. This has been one of the biggest enigmas of an Eagles team I've covered in all the years I've been here. They've had the talent. The offense has not been as beat up health-wise as the defense.
No.
So the offense has no excuse. But for some reason, with these Pro Bowl tackles, future Hall of Fame center, electric running backs, 1,000-yard receivers, it has been as inconsistent as you could have imagined, as anybody could have imagined. And I don't know what to expect. I do know this is a team that's doing a lot of soul searching, which is not good going into that Monday night game, because you're hearing all the chatter from outside. I don't care what a player tells you. I don't listen to the media. I don't read the news. Yes, you do.
Yeah, they do.
You're lying to you. If they don't, they have somebody who directly does it for them and feeds them all the information. There's a lot of soul searching going on in that building. And if they step out on that field, let's say they step out on that field and turn the ball over in their first series. Watch the body language. Let's say Tampa Bay takes the ball and marches down the field 75 yards in 7 minutes and puts the first 7 on the board. Watch the body language. That tells you a lot about this team, because the body language has been horrendous over the past 6 weeks for this team.
They've been living in a hole all year. If they get into another hole against Tampa Bay in that playoff game, they'll give up before the halftime.
The signs were there.
Yeah.
I mean, even when they were 10-1, think about it. Think about how many games they had to come from behind. Think about how many games they needed a big stop. Think about early in the season against the Vikings. Justin Jefferson fumbles the ball in the end zone. That's a momentum-changing play. Think about the other. I can't think of the game where the tight end steps out of bounds and they're driving, steps out of bounds, and the 4th down catch, Eagles get the ball back. Right. They've been playing this inconsistent, lucky football the whole season. The numbers finally caught up to them. Mm-hmm. That's the bottom line.
I think you're right, Gunner. So real quick, you talked about the O-line. I'm going to talk about the D-line. They're not getting to the quarterback, and they're not stopping the run. And that unit's been healthy like that. And that's where all your resources are really invested on this team, other than, paying the corners a lot of money. What's happened there?
Did we overestimate the talent, the collection of talent? Jalen Carter, early in the season, we were in unison. He's going to be Rookie of the Year, Defensive Rookie of the Year. Mm-hmm. Where's he been the last several weeks? Quiet. Jordan Davis has faded.
Totally.
Josh Sweat hasn't had a sack in 7 straight games. Hassan Reddick dropping in coverage 7 or 8 times. Who in the world takes your best pass rusher and drop him into coverage 7 or 8 times?
Incomprehensible that would be happening. And it happened the first 2 games last week.
Yes.
I mean, first 2 plays last week. Unbelievable.
But Hassan has also been overrunning plays. Look at the team. Look how teams have run at Hassan's side. They suck him in, slip right up under him and gone. He's got that burst. He's going to, and the offensive lineman lets him go to the outside. Running back takes the lane to the inside.
Yeah.
Okay. The back end of the defense, Slay, Bradbury have been disappointed. I think, and here's another thing. For Derrick Slay to come out after that one game and say, I played a great game, I don't know about everybody else. You realize what teammates in the locker room must be thinking when somebody says that? Yeah. You put yourself on a pedestal above us, and we're supposed to be in this together?
Yeah.
See, that's not team ball, man. And team ball is not when you just step between the lines and combat an opponent. It's when you're out on that practice field. It's when you're in the team meetings. It's when you're in that locker room. And for you to come out and say that publicly, even if you think you were joking, that resonates in a group of guys, okay? Keely Ringo started out well, faded. Eli Ricks, moments of greatness early, faded. Now Sidney Brown's out for the season with the ACL. And even when Sidney played, he'd make a few good hits. The most consistent DB has been Blankenship. Mm-hmm. Okay? Yeah. So it's been a discombobulated mess on the defensive side. The linebackers, I don't know if you guys remember, but when they brought in Roby and Byard, I tweeted out and people wanted to come at me. I said, Roby and Byard are not going to fix the passing problems on this team. Lo and behold, I think Byard has seen his better days. Roby got hurt, obviously, but Roby has not been that slot guy to replace Avonte Maddox. Maddox is back, but he's not back in 100% shape yet.
Yeah.
Okay? It just has not meshed. For as perfect a season as 2022 was, 23 has been just that inconsistent. And unfortunately, the fan base is losing patience. Fire Sirianni. I can say this. I don't believe that the Eagles would fire a head coach who's had 3 winning seasons and gone to 3 straight playoffs. But what I do believe is that they will force his hand to make coaching changes, just like Chicago's doing today.
Yep.
I do believe that's going to happen. Yeah.
That was my next question for you. Where do you think, how do you think this front office and this ownership group is going to handle, this coaching situation? Because I think it starts with them in terms of the kind of people they bring in. Me and Rob talked earlier about why Denard Wilson wasn't
Mhm.
wasn't the front of the line to get that job. And
Well, he was, but he wasn't just he wasn't just a yes man type guy.
And that's exactly what I was getting to. The fact of the
Yeah.
matter is, they've shown that they prefer to elevate from within. Brian Johnson, perfect example, right? But Denard Wilson, you got the guy in the building. So what's
Right.
the disconnect then, right? You bring in a guy like Sean Desai, you clearly weren't bought into. Why? We know that because you hedged your bet with Matt Patricia. But again, you had Denard Wilson in the building. You let him walk because he didn't want to play ball the way you wanted to play ball, or he wanted
Right.
to throw in some wrinkles.
Right.
So again, I think it has to start from the top, right? And they need to evaluate what they've done well, what they haven't done up to par, and how and the kind of personalities that they're willing to bring in and go against maybe their trend or buck their system. And Jeffrey Lurie has shown an ability to pivot in his tenure as the owner, as the owner for the Eagles.
Yeah. I tell you who would be at the top of my list of coaching candidates, Wink Martindale. He would be at the top of my list in terms of somebody I want to bring in, because when I watch him blitz the Eagles, it reminds me so much of the movie The Titans. Remember The Titans when the coach said, "You blitz all night long." Wink Martindale, that's his mentality. We're blitzing. Yeah. We're blitzing. We're blitzing. You don't know where we're coming from. We're blitzing. And look at what he did to the Eagles offense with inferior personnel for 60 minutes of football. He'd be one of the top candidates on my list to bring in for a defensive coordinator. No question about it.
All right, we got to roll, man. This has been too much fun. We needed more time with the D Gun.
Yes.
All right,
we're coming back. Coming back,
Gunner man.
We're happy to see you, man. First of all, and
I miss my brothers.
Yeah, give Trish all our best, the whole family our best, and you keep doing what you're doing. And I know we'll see you soon, man. I know we're on the right path.
Miss you guys. Love chatting it up, talking some football with you guys, man.
All right, Gunner.
Yes, sir.
You're the best. We'll talk to you soon,
right.
man. Thanks.
Take care, brothers.
All right, take care. All right, thanks to everybody in the chat, everybody streaming, everybody listening. Don't go anywhere because Tone is coming your way with the National Football Show with Dan Cilio. So everybody have a great rest of your Wednesday. Looking forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. Everybody have a great rest of your day. Thanks.